Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. This channel contains hundreds of different videos covering all manner of different patterns, techniques and styles of fly tying. There's something here to suit almost everybody, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, let's get on with the show. Hi guys, so we're going to tie a pike fly here, and this one is going to be like a darker sort of a roach. So it's going to be predominantly tinsel based, and I'm using a size 6.0 Sakuma top gun, which is a short shank, decent gape on it, a little bit of a turn, quite a sharp hook. So I'm using my gel spun thread again, and I'm just going to run some super glue on the thread base and wrap back over that several times, this creating like X weaves into it, and that will create a good solid attachment of the tying to the hook shank, stop the fly from spinning when we've created it. So what I'm going to use here is this mix of tinsel. So this is like a crinkle mylar or mirage type lurex, and this one's actually a mix of like a smoky grey pearl, a normal pearl, and a straight silver. So I'm just taking it and misaligning it by pulling some of the fibres through, and that'll give me the taper to the bunch. This is going to create the core of the tail. So I'm going to set that on and tie it in at about 2/3 of its length once it's been tapered, as this is here. And a few tight binds there to hold that in place. Then what I'll do is I'm just going to run a bit of super glue onto an inch or so of my thread, and I'm going to bind over those. I want a little bit of it to go into the materials at the front, and then what I'll do is I'll just fold all this back with the straw and then pinch it sideways. So there should have been enough just run in here to get it to set and such. Our thread to the front of it and create a little dam back up to our materials there, and then I just want to let a little bit of super glue just wick into the base of that. Then I'll pinch that flat, and that will give me the depth to the fly, but it's going to be very thin. So the hollow portion, or the support for the shape, what I'm going to use for this is red bucktail. And what I'm going to do is use the actual front of the bucktail, not the actual red bits. If you want it brighter you can do that, but this is sort of like a dark blood type colour. So I'll take a bunch of that and I'll just get rid of the short stuff from it. Transfer that over to the fly and then press it down so that it then envelops the shank, and I want to tie across it so that I only have maybe 8mm or so of the ends out the front of it here. I just want to make sure that that has slipped around, and then as I tighten it should splay around, and then what I want to do is wrap into these ends so it'll catch them down at various positions. Don't worry about how neat it is, because all this is going to be covered. So a little bit of super glue into that and wrap into it, and that'll bind the whole thing down nice and securely. Creates a little bit of a taper here as well. So next I'm going to use the same tinsel again. So I'm going to take a bunch of that. And again I'm going to misalign it, but only a little bit. And what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to tie it in sort of 3/4 of the way. I'm going to be a little bit just over halfway, so half of it sticking out the front and a little bit over half just sticking out the front, or out the back, sorry. Put in a loose lap and let that tighten down. Some of the materials have got a little bit. Okay, just make sure you have coverage the whole way around the shank. Tighten that down. And then take our super glue again. Glue a couple of inches of thread and wrap over that tie-in, and then fold all back. So that has given us our core bait fish shape. I'm just going to let a little bit of glue run onto that, and then pinch it with a straw. Take the thread in front, and we're going to finish this off. So to finish it, what I've done is I've taken some pearl and some fine silver pearl, and a little bit of this material as well. I've cut them short and I've mixed it with some grey sort of fibre. So I end up with the sort of support of the fibre and then the flash of the pearl. And we're going to take a bunch of that. Again, the ends are slightly misaligned. I'm just going to set that up, allow it to splay all around, and tie that in place. Several good tight wraps. Super glue on the thread, wrap in place, and 1/2 hitch will finish it into the super glue. Then I'm going to just find the eye and fold all that back. So once it's set back, just stretch all back, holding on to it, and then just glue around the end of the head. Take our straw and pinch, and that will set the head, and it should give us a flat spot that the eyes can attach to here. So that's our fly tie. We're going to put eyes on it. We're going to put these 7mm hot reds on. So I'm going to set that aside because the super glue needs to dry out a bit. So I have one over here that we tied before. So we'll set it in. And I'm going to take my 5-minute epoxy, 2-part epoxy. I'll put that onto my post-it pad here and use my cocktail stick, and I'll just mix up a little bit of it here. And what we're doing first is setting the eyes, and then we'll finish the head at another stage. So we take our little bleb of epoxy and put that on the side, and then get a bit for the other side, and the same, just smear it onto the side there. Then I take the eye, I just dip the back end of it into the bleb and push that back with it, and that just creates that little bit of continuity from the epoxy under it and over the back lip, stops it from peeling off. Same on this side, slide it back, make sure they're even, and you see this bit needs filled in, but we'll do that when those have set. So that now needs to go aside to set. So I like to put that in a rotary dryer or hang it straight up and down with a magnet above me here. And then we'll take one that we've already got at that stage, where the eyes are now set in place. I just need to make sure there's no little fibres sticking out that'll make a mess of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some more epoxy and I'm going to add a little bit of glitter to that. So the colour of the glitter is up to yourself. I'm going to use a pearl for this. So a bit of glitter onto our pad, and then take the epoxy down in and mix it. And the glitter, I find, helps you to tell when your epoxy is well mixed, because if it's evenly distributed through the epoxy mix that you're making, then it should be evenly mixed. So now I'm going to take a flab of that, and I just want to use the stick and just use the point of it to sort of dig it in to whatever gaps are left. You can use it just to poke. It'll sort of run down the stick and go into the spaces. And it should sort of run with the shape of the eyes there and create a nice smooth head. Flip the fly over and the same thing, get it dug in underneath, so get it poked into any gaps that have dried out behind the eyes when you put them on. It takes a little bit of practice to get it neat. And then at the front, I just want the top and the bottom pearl epoxies just to meet, just across the front, and that will secure the whole thing together. I think it just needs a little bit more here just to get that shape. Okay, so that's it done. That's our fly tied. I'm going to put this now into a rotary fly dryer, and that will just basically spin this, and that'll keep the head pretty much where you have it set here. Now that's part of the reason why I use these faster drying 2-part epoxies, 2 and 5 minute ones, because otherwise you'd be rotating the thing for half an hour or an hour. So I find these ones are handy to work with. The only thing about them then is obviously they set fairly quickly, and it's difficult to do big batches of flies with it, but overall I think you end up with a better result. So hopefully you like the fly, hopefully it gives you some inspiration. It should definitely work where there's any silverfish, and the redness that's in here, although it may not be 100% evident, when the fly gets wet you can get that red blood-like glow through it, almost like a bleeding roach, I suppose. So hopefully you like what you've seen. If you did, give us a like, subscribe, tell your friends, check out all the other videos on the channel, and until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.